Excel has more than 20 functions to work with date and time values. In this video, I will show you how Excel stores date and time, how to use date and time in your formulas, how to format them, and every function you'll ever need to effectively and confidently work with date and time values. At the end of the video, I will also show you how to create a range of dates, for example, the start and end of each month for a specific year. Let's get started. Excel stores dates as a serial number. On Excel's calendar, the first day is January 1st, 1900. So day 1 is January 1st, 1900. Day 2 on Excel's calendar is January 2nd, 1900. And if you keep counting, today is going to be day, for example, 45,700. I'm going to type a date here. This is 2/15/2025. This is US English. So if you are in other country, you're going to have a different formatting, but everything should work the same way. You just need to type it in a way that you usually type your date values. So what is this value? Type an equal sign and select the cell that you have your date and press enter. You will get your date value here as well. I'm going to select this cell, go to home and format this cell as general. This will show you what is a numerical value for that date. February 15, 2025 is day 45,703. How about time values? Times are decimal portion of a date. Excel will split an entire day to values between 0 and 1 to a continuous value. So 0.5 means 12 p.m. 0.25 is 6 a.m. 0.75 is 6 p.m. And we can add this number to date to have date and time values. I'm going to type a time value here, for example, 14, 45, 30. When I press enter, the format is custom. If you want to make sure that this is properly stored as a time, select time from this menu. So it shows that this is 2:45 p.m. What is the numerical value for this? Again, I can refer to this cell and change the format to general, and you're going to see this is 0.61. So what does that mean when we use these values in our calculations? If today is February 15, 2025, I can add 1 to that numerical value, and that will give me tomorrow's date. If you want the date for next week, add 7 to your date value. If you want your date in 10 days, add 10 to your date values. You can also deduct values because these are integer values and you can add or subtract any values from your date value. How about time? So what is an hour in Excel? 0 to 1 is 24 hours. So if I divide that by 24, that would be 1 hour. So if I want to add 1 hour to the time that I have here, I just need to type 1 divided by 24 plus my time, and that will show me 3:45 p.m. If you want to add 2 hours, it's going to be 2/24 plus the current time. But what if I want to only add 10 minutes to my time? 1 hour is 1/24. 10 minutes is 10/60. So when I multiply these two values, that will give me 10 minutes. I can then add this to my time value. And I'm expecting to get 2:55, and I'm getting 2:55. So this is the nature of date and time in Excel. Excel offers many functions to work with date and time values. The first functions I'm going to use is to extract year, month, and day part of a date. The function that can give you the year part of a date is year. The argument is your date, and that will return a numerical value, the year part of a date, in this case 2025. If you want to extract the month part of the date, the function is month, the argument is your date, and the value will be an integer number between 1 and 12. And similarly, to extract the day part of a date, the function is day. It takes a date as an argument and it will return the numerical value, an integer value for the day, which is 15 in this case. We have 3 functions to extract hour, minute, and second part of a time. To extract the hour part of a time, the function is hour. Pass your time value as your argument, and this will give you 14 because this is 2 p.m. The minute function will give you the minute part of the time. In this case, I should get 45. And the second function will give you the second part of the time, and I should get 30. We can also combine 3 integer values to generate a proper date format. Here I have the year, month, and day as 3 separate integer numbers. To convert them to a proper date, the function is date. The first argument is year, the second argument is month, and the last argument is day. We also have a function called time that can combine hour, minute, and second and can generate a time value. So the hour is 14, minute is 55, and the second is 30, and that will give me the time value. In case your values are not properly formatted, you can go to home, and from this menu you can format them as date or time. To get the current date, the function is today, is one of the functions in Excel that doesn't take any argument. You still need to have your parentheses, and this will give you the current date value. To get the current date and time, the function is now. That will give you the current date and time, and these values will be updated whenever your Excel formulas are updated. Excel has a function that can give you the week number of a given date. The name of the function is week number. It takes a date as an argument. There is a second optional argument that you can define which day is the first day of the week. We also have a function called weekday that takes a date and also it takes the first day of the week. For example, my week starts on Sunday and ends on Saturday. So day 1 of my week is Sunday and day 7 is Saturday. And it can tell you your date is which day of the week. In this case, 2 means Monday. Excel has a function called EDATE that can shift your date. For example, this is my starting date, and I'm going to shift that by 2 months. It's not properly formatted. Let's go to the home ribbon, go to format, and I'm going to format this as short date. You can also pass negative values to shift backward. So EDATE, this is a date. I'm going to pass -3 here. -3 means go back 3 months. Let's format this as short date. This is going to be month 11, day 17, year 2024. Excel has a very handy function called EOMONTH, end of month. It takes date as the first argument, and the second argument is month. If you pass 0, it will give you the end of the current month. This date, I need to format it. So this is 4/30/25. If this is your start time and you want to get the end of the next month, that's going to be EOMONTH. I'm going to pass date, and I'm going to pass 1 as the second argument, and that would be end of December. We can count the number of working days. This is the start date and this is the end date. And I want to know how many working days we have in this range. The name of the function is NETWORKDAYS. There's also international version of this, so we can make some adjustments. This is a start date and this is the end date. And in this 7-week period, we have 35 working days. If you have holidays, you can include them in your formula, so they're deducted from the number of working days. I'm going to add 2 holidays here. The last argument is optional holidays, which you can select a range of cells and press enter. Those days will be deducted from your network days. Excel will let you to format your days any way you want. It's actually pretty easy to do that. You just need to remember Y refers to year, M refers to month, and D refers to day. For example, I will type a date here, 2/15/2025. Right click and go to Format Cells. Under Format Cells, go to Custom, and here I'm just going to display the year part of the date. If you type 1Y and click on OK, that will show you the year part in 1 or 2 digits. So if your year value is, let's say 2005, this will just show you 5. If you want to see 2 digits, you must type 2 Ys here. If you want to see 4 digits, you need to type 3 or 4 Ys here. These are still dates. If you look at the formula bar, you can see this is a proper date. It's just formatted as year. Similarly, we can format month values. Let's go back to the same menu. If I type 1M, that will show me month with 1 digit. 2 M's, it will show you the 0 value. 3 M's will show you abbreviation for the month, in this case February. And if you want to see the full name of the month, you need to type 1, 2, 3, and 4 M's here, and this is going to show you a sample. This is going to be February. It's the same process for day values. 1D will give you day in 1 or 2 digits. If you type 2Ds, for sure you're going to have 2 digits. If you type 3Ds, that will give you the abbreviation for the day of the week, Saturday. If you have 4Ds, that will give you the full name of the day of the week. Having this, you can format your date in any way you want. Let's say I want to have 4 digits a year. I'm going to have this character, then I'm going to show abbreviation for month and abbreviation for day of the week. So I'm going to start with 4 Ys for the year part. Then I'm going to have this character. Abbreviation for the month is 3 M's. And abbreviation for day of the week is 3Ds. Let's have one more example. I want the full year value. Then I'm going to have this character followed by the day of the week. You need to type 4Ds. It happens a lot to me that I need to have the first and last day of the month. We can write a couple of formulas and Excel can handle the rest of it. Let's say I want to get the first and last day of each month for year 2025. I need to generate the first date here, and for that I can use the date function. The year is given. I want the first day of the first month, so the month is 1 and day is 1. That will give you the first day of any year value you have in cell B4. This is January 1st, 2025. What is the end of the month for this date? We already covered the function end of month, which we need to pass this date, and the gap is 0, and that will give you the end of this month. Let me format this to short date. Let me actually format all of them to short date. So this is January. How about February? What is the first day of February? It's the day after the end of January. So I just need to add 1 to this date. What is the end of this month? I can just use the same formula, end of month. Then I should be able to copy these two formulas all the way to here, and that will give me the first and last day of each month. And if you change the year value to 2028, all these values will be updated automatically. I also want to show the month abbreviation here. I can write the equal sign and select the date and format this as month. So let's right click, go to format cells, custom. I'm going to have 3 M's here that will format the date as January. So if for any reason these dates change, the month will be updated. And let's copy that all the way to the last column. Since we have dynamic arrays, we can actually write a dynamic function here. Just going to show you one example. Date. The year is 2025. Month was 1, day was 1. In this formula, the only value is changing is the month value. And that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 2, 12. So instead of having 1 here, I can type a sequence function. I need only 1 rows, 12 columns starting from 1. That will generate numbers between 1 and 12 in the current row, and that should give you the first day of each month. Let's format this to date. How about the name of the month? Type equal sign, select this cell. The source is dynamic, so I can type £sign to get all dates here. Then I can format them as month. We can use the end of month function to get the end of the month. The source is dynamic, so I can type # and the gap is 0. But the problem is this won't work. And why it's not working is beyond the scope of this video. So I'm just going to manually select cell B12, assuming this is not dynamic, and I'm going to copy the formula all the way to December and it should work. What if I want to get all the dates after a given date for Tuesday and Thursdays, or for Mondays and Fridays? First, I need to get the end of the current week for this date. Using the weekday formula, I can see this is day 4 of the week. So how many days we have to the end of the week? 7 minus 4. We have 3 days to the end of the week. If I add 3 to the current date, that should give me the date for end of this week, September 6, 2025. I will use this date to generate my pattern. For example, 3 days from this date will be Tuesday, 5 days from this date will be Thursday. So I'm going to type 3 and 5 for my gaps. To generate the first Tuesday, I'm going to have the end of the week plus this gap. And to make sure this is Tuesday, let me type an equal sign and connect these two and format this as day of the week. This should be 4 Ds. To generate the first Thursday, get the end of the week and add 5 to that date. For all the following days, I just need to add 7 to the first Tuesday and add 7 to the first Thursday. Then you can copy that to the last column you have. This will give you all Tuesdays and Thursdays after the given date. By changing these gaps, you can get any dates. For example, if you want Mondays and Wednesdays, the gap will be 2 and 4.